All right, yo, Black Art in America family. This is Najee, outside of the home of one of my dear friends, Carol Briggs in Chicago, and she's so kind enough to give us a tour of her home. So,
good morning. Come in. Welcome to my home.
All right. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Najee, good to see you too. Welcome.
Yeah, man, it's been a treat. I've been trying to line this up for a while.
I know. Welcome. Let me just tell you a little bit about the space that you're entering.
Okay.
This is my world of travel. Typically, everywhere I go, I try to collect a piece of art that reflects who we are as a culture. You can tell my travels take me quite a bit to the Caribbean. I love some Jamaica. I love some St. Croix. So some of these are a collection of pieces from there.
Okay.
In my window here, I want you to see a couple of pieces that are really special to me.
Oh, wow.
The Spirit Doll by Marva Jolly and the Candle Collection is all a piece of Marva's work. Marva is a collector here from Chicago that we love and cherish her work very much.
All right.
Come in. Here's my other son. I'm the mother of one strong son named Delbert, and this is my other son, one of my favorite pieces of work by none other than
Woodrow.
Woodrow.
Yeah.
You know and love some Woodrow.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you for inviting us in.
You are more than welcome. As you said earlier, we have been doing this for a minute. I am a member of Black Art in America. Definitely believe in collecting. I'm also a member of Diaspora Rhythms, art collectors group of current contemporary artists from the diaspora here in Chicago, and we actually try to reflect what it is we love, and we love collecting current contemporary work from artists that we love and that are living, and we love having that reflected in our homes and in the spaces that we live. You can see some of my favorite pieces also on my fireplace mantle. That's Raquel in the middle. That's by a wonderful artist by the name of Aviola. All I can say is I love me some Aviola. I love me some Aviola. Raquel just is like, she found her home here. I love that piece. There are my little Woodrows. There's also some Stacy. And then you look over here, there's some more of that wonderful Aviola.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And it just warms and enhances the world that we live in. I think when people, can you see my Najee over there? Uh-oh, look at my Najee. That's a wonderful piece of work by my brother Najee that I love. Gets so much attention. Yeah. My beautiful Marva is reflected probably throughout my home in so many ways. I love some Marva.
Yeah, feel free to sit down. Take a load off of this one. This is actually a great backdrop.
Okay.
And now you literally live with art all around you.
Najee, I think I started collecting, man. When I started telling this story, I would say about 20 years ago. I think the 20 now probably is almost getting to 30, maybe not quite, but never ever thought that I would be where I am today. And today I have such a joy and such a sense of peace in my home. Art is reflected almost on every piece of wall space that I can squeeze a piece into, from my living room to my bedroom to my bathroom to my kitchen. And it truly, I feel, is a reflection of what I love and who I have become. It reflects who we are as a people, and it truly brings me a sense of joy and serenity in being able to live and be surrounded by what reflects us as a culture.
Yeah. So how did you get started?
Wow, that's a great story. Believe it or not, when my son was about 7 years old, he played on a little league baseball team, and many days I would have to drop him off for practice because he played in a different community from which we lived, and I started visiting in this community in Chicago called Hyde Park, and I would walk up and down, and I had two favorite places that I would go to visit while he would practice. And one of those places was a gallery called Artworks that was owned by a person by the name of Joe Clark. And I would go in and just start visiting and walking around the gallery, and never had any art at that point. And I can remember I would go so often. I started visiting the gallery every week as just part of my journey in passing time, waiting for my son to complete practice. And then eventually, after looking at the art every day, because most of the art in this gallery was art that was reflective of African American artists, I just started falling in love with our story. I just started falling in love with the color. I just started falling in love with what I saw. And Mr. Clark said, you can buy art. I was like, oh, no, only rich people buy art. He's like, oh, no, you can buy art. And making a long story short, there was a piece in there by Ernie Barnes, and it was a print. And it was a print of some basketball players. And because my son was an athlete, it was just so reflective of where we were in our journey and me being a mom that I fell in love with that piece. And I think the piece at the time was $300, and Mr. Clark let me put the piece in layaway. And believe it or not, that started a journey for me that eventually went from collecting that first print to now truly being a collector and a lover of original art.
And is it, one thing that I noticed about a number of the collectors, particularly with Diaspora Rhythms and even, in Chicago, the support of today's living artists.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that important?
It is absolutely crucial to the mission of our organization that we support current living artists, because we have witnessed that it's their livelihood. It is who determines and who anoints who is to be the next famous artist in this world. And if we don't anoint our artists and lift them while they are creating, having to live and breathe, we have witnessed in our history so many artists having to struggle and suffer, but being so talented. But often their work is never cherished until they leave this earth, and then other people put a value on their work, but artists never have been able to reap the benefits of their own creations. And so we just firmly believe that it's just important that all across this universe that we really anoint, and as a people we determine who's great in terms of this next generation of artists to come. And it's not that we don't value artists who are not living, but it is so important in order for artists that are currently creating and it is their livelihood, they need us to support them so that they can continue to create and document our history and document our communities and document our culture and then reflect truly who we are.
Yeah. How do you go about accumulating such a vast collection of art?
Wow.
How does that happen?
Wow, I tell you. I'm just in awe when I look at some of the artists in my collection. I'll tell you, the beginning of it starts with the relationships with artists. I live in what I call an arts community. And so many of the artists that you see reflected in my home are part of my art family. I visit their studios, I go to gallery shows, we do wonderful art shows here in Chicago and art marketplaces. So from a studio show to going to an African marketplace where fine art is being displayed, establishing relationships with gallery owners, and it just becomes a natural part of who I have become in this whole art community.